by David Bowie off the Young Americans album. So, a lot of you are watching this from America, I bet. You usually are. Where are you watching this from? Boston, there you go, straight away. Hawaii. How early is it there? We have, what was that people from Hawaii? Or it's a different time zone, isn't it? It's not just West Coast still, isn't it? Is it? Um, no, it's not, is it? Because it's like another few hours west, isn't it? Hawaii. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I've asked this question before, and I've still never bothered looking it up. Let's get that all straight. Um, yes, David Bowie, and it's his birthday soon, on the 8th. I've done a little, helps with a little documentary on Radio 2, and also a big internet thing to celebrate with Mike Garson and lots of bands, which I tweeted about. So it's Bowie season. How are you? I've got some questions. So keeps it flowing, keeps the high quality flowing, doesn't it? Claire, I am doing Veganuary. Yeah, me too. And February and March. But can't convince my husband to do it with me. So was wondering what's the best meat alternative product you've tried. Ah, right. He's not easily fooled. Well, you can't. Well, you could fool them unless they were, suspicious. But there's lots. I mean, it doesn't have to be a meat alternative to be an alternative to meat, if you know what I mean. It doesn't have to be pretending to be meat. Lots of things. Most meat eaters are mostly vegan or vegetarian anyway. But like there's soy and bean curd and corn and all those things. But now people have gotten really good at making them look and taste like meat, if you like that sort of thing. Because I when I used to eat meat, I liked the taste of bacon and things. But you soon realise if you break that down, you're not really tasting what's essentially meat, particularly with things like burgers and hot dogs. You're tasting the mustard and the tomato sauce, and you're feeling the texture. And there's loads of good things. Linda McCartney range is really great, but there's loads and loads, right? But one I'm blown away by that even smells a bit like meat when you're cooking it is Beyond Meat. They do sort of burgers and stuff. And honestly, the first time I had it, I called the waiter over and said, "Are you sure this is not meat?" It had like the bits and the gristle. So get some Beyond Meat burgers. Do the whole thing with the bun and the tomatoes and onions and relish and all that. And honestly, I don't think anyone could, unless they're really militant and trying to catch you out. There's no different, and they're healthier, and a lot of them have got more protein than meat because it's sort of synthesized and contrived, and so yeah, that's my recommendation. I think I'll buy shares in them. Leopold and Loveday, we love Afterlife and would like to know which episode or scene are you most proud of? Can you pick just one? Rewatching now and are touched by the ones with Julian and Tony. Thank you for this. Yeah, I like the things when you sort of do sort of challenging things to take on, particularly in a comedy. So I think probably the things I'm most proud of aren't just the funny bits, but they probably have got a bit of dramatic. I'm also quite proud of when you get a chance to show off your directing skills, because again you don't much, and you shouldn't in comedy much. I think if people start seeing the direction, if it's all fast cuts and weird, I think just tell me a joke, be funny. But I quite like the end scene. No spoilers. I like the end scene with me and the dog before the doorbell goes. Uh, um, I think my favourite directorial and what it means and what it says, and it only happens once, is when Tony's off his head, he's tried heroin, he's just been robbed, and he leans back, and you suddenly see him on Lisa's sort of lap when Rocket Man by Elton John's playing. I think that's my proudest. That's what I think. Everything came together there. Sort of 1 minute. It was sweet. It was visual. It drove the plot a little bit. It showed you it was so. I'm proudest of things that do more than one thing at a time, I guess. So one of those things. Good question, that. Titch, good morning, Mr. G. As you know, Roop was the king of dress up. If Auntie had to make you a costume from bits and bobs, what would you like to be dressed up as? I've always fancied that sort of. Don't get me wrong. That Jack the Ripper. I don't mean dressing up as a. You know, that sort of cape and the top hat. That sort of ominous, sort of Victorian. I've always got at a castle and just open the door and I'm in a cape. I quite like the idea of that. Or Dracula. He was good as well. So basically, a vampire or a serial killer. That's. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, that. Yeah, I'm letting her off there with a cape because that's easier to make, isn't it? I found that out the hard way. We were trying to make a suit out of curtains. Yeah, that sort of look. You know what I mean, don't you? When you're walking down it's always in one of those old films. It's always we go, see you later, Sheila, bye. And then you hear footsteps in the sort of like Victorian fire. Here, oh, who are you? Ah! And it's me in a top hat and a cape. Absolute bollocks. If you had to be remembered, sorry, you're in a bucket again. For one thing in your lifetime, what would it be? Could be a work or a personal achievement. Oh. Is that another? What am I proudest of? What will I think? I still think. It doesn't matter what I do from now until I die, right? Unless I become a serial killer or something. I think it'd still be the creator of The Office or the creator of David Brent or something. But what would I like to be? Well, I'd love to, and I haven't done it yet, but I'd love to do something remarkable with, animal cruelty or end testing or, something like that. As I say, should it be something I've done as opposed to me going, I'd like to be known for going up and stopping a meteor hitting Earth. Yeah, we haven't done that, Rick. I know, but I'd like to be remembered for that. Right. If it's something I've done, well, listen, I'd be proud to be remembered for David Brent, the Golden Globes, that I'm proud of that I did it. That I mean, I think of it now. I nearly said no. I thought, oh God, I don't want to stand there and do that. Everyone hate me. I mean, afterlife. I suppose I'd like to be remembered for being a brave comedian. That's in general. Like people go, oh, he did what he wanted. That I think, if that counts. I'm struggling here, aren't I? I'm struggling here. He stopped a meteor from hitting Earth. Did he? Yeah, not yet. A few years. I'll be doing that in a few years. Let's just say David Brent for now. So yeah, David Brent for now. He ended animal cruelty, did he? Not yet. Give me a few years. Bella, I like drinking from muddy puddles. But have you ever sucked tea through a penguin biscuit? um, I must have. Penguin biscuits were pretty big when I was a kid. They weren't my favourite, but I think they were the cheapest. Okay, to any Americans or anyone around the world, a penguin biscuit, right? It was a bit of a con, right? Because it looked like a chocolate bar, right? You'd see it, you go, oh, is that a topic or a Mars bar or a Lion bar or a Flake or a Twix? No, it's a fucking biscuit covered in thin chocolate, made to look like. I'm not dissing Penguin. You know, they were good, great for kids. But my suspicion is they were cheaper than real, like what you call confectionery and Mars bars. But they looked like them. Because for one, they were a biscuit, but they had their individual wrapping. Now you don't usually get that, do you? And they'd come in a pack. Anyway, I think they were the cheapest. I think they were the cheapest chocolate bar looking thing. It was better, you could say it was better than the biscuit. It could be before Hobnobs, I'd say it could have been one of the best biscuits. I've talked way too much about the penguin, and I think I remember it right. It was like a normal sort of biscuit. It might have been had something in it, like a layer thing, and then covered with chocolate, which is a bonus. Anyway, whenever I had a packed lunch when I was a kid, it was a sandwich, an apple, and a penguin. So, and I used to dunk biscuits. So I'd be surprised if I haven't sucked tea through a penguin. Thanks for your question, Bella. Imagine someone who's just tuned in for the first time. They go, "Oh, I've heard about Ricky Gervais. Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff in it." Oh, he talked about a fucking biscuit for 3 minutes. 3 minutes, no jokes. He just talked about a particular fucking biscuit. Do they still exist? I haven't dissed them, have I? Could they give some money to charity? Do we make penguins? Could Penguin, who makes them? Is it Cadbury or Roundtree or I don't know. I haven't done the research, have I? But that was a big plug, wasn't it? Penguins. Pick up a penguin. That was the advert. Pick up a penguin. A penguin. If you feel peckish, pick up a penguin. Americans turning off. What the fuck is this idiot talking about? Oh, right. Tara, what is the hardest challenge you have faced during your career? Um, Laziness, uh, saying no to anything that wasn't completely my way, which was dangerous. It worked out well, but it could have gone the other way, couldn't it? I mean, the first time I've done that could have been my last chance. Um, so fighting to get things my own way, fighting to get final edit, and walking away if it's not completely, trying to be uncompromised, and while being lazy. I'm so lazy, right, and I work such short hours that I've got to be twice as good for it to come out as good. Think how good my stuff would be if I wasn't so lazy. Competing with real life. I love working, but at 3 or 4 o'clock, I think that's enough. So I get it all done before that, and I plan it because I know I want to get home, have a bath, and a glass of wine. So being lazy is the wrong word, but being militant about having my own life. And I know people who've worked for 15 years. They've worked they've had terrible times. They've been ill, and they've worked for 60-hour weeks, 80-hour weeks for no money. I went, no, I'm not doing that. I'll just do it like this. Yeah. Is that I don't know. Being fat, and ugly and old? That's tough. I wasn't always fat and ugly, I was thin and Has lovely hair and young. Gunnar, do you think that the only real way to make change is to make that change profitable? That's a good question. Example, make it more profitable to catch trophy hunters trophy than be a trophy hunter. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know what you mean. Money does make the world go round, but I like to think that there are some things more important than money, and that some people know that and they do things anyway. I mean, that's why you get volunteers, I guess. But then you could say, well, the government should be doing it. That's what we shouldn't need charity and volunteers because everyone should be. There's enough money for everyone to have lots of money because so few people have all the money. And we could feed everyone now. We could feed everyone on the planet. We could. Um, so, okay, is a stat. Um, if you cut out 10% of meat consumption, you'd feed another 100 million people. Because we talked about this before, but because the billions and billions of animals on farms that are slaughtered every week to feed the few takes so much of crops that would feed everyone because it's a not efficient. Do you know what I mean? You need to feed that cow 8 times, 10 times the stuff it yields when it feeds one person, if you know what I mean. And we exploit poor countries. We take all their grain to feed our farm animals. We kill trillions of sea creatures every week, and it's mashed down into pulp to feed cows. So we've made cows like the vegetarian cow. We've made the biggest consumer of seafood. It's the biggest sea predator in the world now. The cow. We've made it that. So you could do that, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think that when people get on board, that veganism is going to be profitable. It's going to work for everyone, and everyone's going to. So I think the answers. You can do it without, but it helps, and you'll find out the things that work, they are profitable. Good ideas are profitable. People go, yeah, that's good. And some things are a con. Some things are kept quiet because they make money. Like animal testing. It doesn't work, but it makes money because the people who breed fucking animals get thousands of dollars per fucking beagle or whatever. They'll keep quiet about it. And the big pharmaceutical companies, they keep quiet about it. It 90, I think 93% of tests that work on animals then fail in humans because we're just not the same. So already, computer modelling for testing is better than animals, but people they don't want to talk about that because it's such a profitable thing. So I've said yes and no, haven't I? I've said yes and no to your question. Just be nice. Tony, what is the funniest, dumbest thing Jane has ever done or said, which you've never let her forget, and vice versa? Well, vice versa, I've done loads of stupid things, like as I've said, made clothes out of curtains and stuff, and I've told you all the fucking stupid things I've ever done. But I thought of one, right? Jane, right? It's not that dumb. It's just one of those things that you say and then, oh God, what's that? We were in New York about 10 years ago now, and we were shopping, and we were walking around some antique places. We went to this big place that's sort of, it's not an antique, it's sort of like a cross between an antique place and a junk place. And it's like cool retro things, and they get things from old bars like neon signs, and there's pinballs, and there's bits from churches, one of those places, And we were walking around, we were loving it, right? Go, look at that, right? And then there was this big taxidermied grizzly bear. It's like sort of 7 foot high going, like that. And I thought, oh, I spoiled it. And I just thought, I said, poor thing, why would you shoot that? And Jane, I don't know if she was not thinking or making me feel better, or, she went, so the bear's like this, a stuffed grizzly bear. And Jane went, well, to be fair, it looks like it was attacking him. I went, what? I couldn't believe my luck. I went, what you thought? That's the minute it died. She went, oh no. I never let her forget it. Just the idea of this thing, and it gets shot and it dies immediately, and they just stuff it like that. And that's the proof. I go, no, it was self-defense. Look. So, if you murder someone, quickly stuff them like that. And then you show him in court, and I go, no, he was he was attacking me. I go, that's fair enough. So, yeah. Oh, dear. Got loads of questions. We're not going to get through them all. I do a couple more. Dougal. As I reflect on 2020, I consider my bestest part was when my dad gave me the leftover gravy. Dougal's a dog. The leftover gravy for Christmas dinner. What was your bestest part of 2020? Well, there's lots. I mean, just think of doing the Golden Globes was 2020. That's unbelievable, isn't it? A year ago. Lovely gigs. We went to places. Oh, it'd have to be the best and worst was losing Ollie and getting Pickle. So I think that, yeah, getting Pickle was the best part of 2020. Saved a little soul, didn't we? Lovely. Emma, a New Year quiz question tonight for Ricky's Bollocks. What year was Netflix founded? 1997, 2001, 2006, 2015. I reckon it was the earliest one. I'll tell you what, I think it was that one because they weren't making shows, but they were. I think they were posting out like videos and DVDs, like Blockbusters or something. Because I knew some people who tried to do the same, and Netflix sort of beat them to it. And that was 90s, I think. I never officially called that then. I'd say 97. So the 97, 2001. But I didn't start making programs till. I think the first program I'd heard of was about 2010 or 11. Was House of Cards, and that's when I got in touch with them and said, I want to do the next show, and it was Derek. So what was Derek? So 2012 or 13. So they definitely were already making shows by then. I'd say they were founded, but just being like a Blockbusters in 1997. We've no idea if this is true or not. Someone Google it now and tell me what year it was. Joey, would you rather travel back in time by 100 years and spend a day there every time you fart, right? Or be teleported to a random person's house for a day every time you sneeze? I don't know. I just suddenly turn up in someone's house having sneezed. So I could sneeze in the bath, and then I just turn up in someone's house naked, going, I go, achoo, like that. No, it can't be. It can't be that one. I get battered, wouldn't I? It's got to be 100 years. Again, 100 years ago. So 1921. It was alright, wasn't it? That was a good time. After the First World War, it was a time of. Could it be anywhere in the world? Well, yeah, but I mean, it depends, doesn't it? Is that just a chance I take that I go back to 1921, some country where there's a fucking plague or war or something? I think I take my chances there though, than just turning up in someone's house naked with snot on my face. Oh dear. Oh, right, one more question. It's been complete bollocks, isn't it, this? Otis, parrot. You wake up one morning and you've lost the ability to see, hear, taste, smell, and touch. Well, I might as well be a fucking potato. What would you miss most? Your sense? Well, I'd miss everything. I wouldn't know. What would I be? I'd just be a brain, wouldn't I? Be a brain in some meat. Like a meal. Brain in meat. That is probably a meal somewhere, isn't it? In some, that's a lovely. Would you like some our delicacy? Yes. So I go back to 1920, some country, and I go, what's on the menu? And they go, brain in meat. I go, fucking hell. But I'd be that, wouldn't I? And what would be the point in having? What would be the point of being a brain if you've got no input? Can't see, hear, taste, smell, or touch. That's a plant. That's a plant. That is. That's a cactus. Well, it always ends up with me with some horrendous existence or death, doesn't it? Well, that was good, wasn't it? Alexa, play David Brent, Life on the Road. Siri, play David Brent, Life on the Road. Alexa, buy David Brent, Life on the Road. Oh dear. Alexa, buy the album David Brent, Life on the Road. Siri, buy Flanimals. Right, there you go. But how long is this going on? Fucking hell. I know people are worried about the pandemic, but imagine all the people that are worried about the pandemic, and I said, and you've got to do this twice a week. You've got to do this twice a week. People go, fuck me, you're joking. No. Twice a week, you've got to get ready, you've got to take questions from animals on Twitter and come up with content and talk and be funny or interesting, answer fucking quick quiz questions. Right, there you go. That'll do, won't it? What day is it? Is it Sunday? It is, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I'm loving all the lovely comments about Afterlife. I think a lot of people got maybe Netflix, or they've had more time over Christmas. And another wave of people have discovered Afterlife and Humanity. Watch Humanity. Watch Humanity. Alexa, watch Humanity on Netflix. Right, that'll do. Thanks very much. Fuck off, Colin. Be nice to animals. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.